Here's what nobody tells you about intelligence. You're doing it all wrong. Every morning, millions of people wake up and do the same thing. They scroll through productivity tips. They save life-changing advice. They bookmark secrets of successful people, and then they wonder why nothing changes. You want to be smart? Like, actually smart? Not, I memorized 50 quotes, smart. Not, I listen to podcasts while I sleep, smart. But I solve real problems and get real results, smart? Here's the truth they won't tell you. There's no magic pill, no secret hack, no 30-day transformation. But here's what's even more brutal. Becoming truly smart is ridiculously simple. So simple that 99% of people will never do it. Why? Because simple doesn't sell. Because easy doesn't get clicks. Because the real path to intelligence? It's boring as hell. And that's exactly why it works. Chapter 1. The Internet's Fake Wisdom. The Internet says, want to be smarter? Eat apple. Drink tea. Listen to high-frequency music. Cool. Now what? You scroll, you save the post, you forget it the next day. The truth? Intelligence isn't something you consume. It's something you build. Chapter 2. Why school fails you. You spent maybe 20 years in school, and what do you have to show for it? You can recite the Pythagorean theorem, but you can't solve a real problem. You memorized historical dates, but you can't think critically about today's world. You passed every test, but you failed at learning how to learn. Here's the dirty secret. School was never designed to make you smart. It was designed to make you compliant, to follow instructions, to give the right answer, to never question the system. Real intelligence? It asks why, when everyone else says how. It questions everything. It breaks rules that don't make sense. School taught you to be a human Google. Life demands you to be a human problem solver. Chapter 3. Real smart people do this. Want to spot a truly intelligent person? They don't quote Einstein. They don't name-drop philosophers. They don't use big words to sound impressive. Here's what they do. They see a broken system and fix it. They find a problem everyone ignores and solve it. They take something complex and make it simple. While you're reading about success, they're creating it. While you're learning about innovation, they're building it. While you're discussing theories, they're testing them. The difference? Smart people don't just consume knowledge, they produce results. They don't just think, they do. Every failure teaches them something. Every success shows them what works. Every day, they get a little bit smarter. Not because they read more, but because they tried more. Chapter 4. Curiosity is the entry point. Most people see the world and think, that's just how it is. Smart people see the world and think, but why? Why do we do it this way? Why has no one tried that approach? Why does everyone accept this limitation? Curiosity isn't just asking questions. It's being genuinely bothered by not knowing the answer. It's losing sleep over unsolved problems. It's that itch in your brain that won't go away. But here's the catch. Curiosity without action is just entertainment. You can wonder all you want. But until you actually investigate, until you experiment, until you test your theories, you're just another person with questions. The magic happens when curiosity meets commitment, when I wonder if becomes let me try. When questions become experiments, when theories become tests, that's when curiosity stops being a hobby and starts being intelligence. Chapter 5. If you want to learn, build something. Here's a brutal truth. You don't remember what you read. You remember what you use. You can watch 100 YouTube tutorials on coding, but until you build your first app, you know nothing. You can read every book on entrepreneurship, but until you start your first business, you're just a walking Wikipedia. You can study psychology for years, but until you help someone change their behavior, you're just collecting theories. The secret? Knowledge without application is just trivia. Learning without building is just procrastination. Studying without doing is just an expensive hobby. Your brain doesn't care about information. It cares about survival. And in today's world, survival means solving problems. So force your brain to use what it learns. Make it matter. Make it real. Start that blog about what you discovered. Build that side project with your new skills. Teach someone else what you figured out. When you create something with your knowledge, that's when it becomes part of you. That's when learning becomes intelligence.
Chapter 6. Intelligence is not sexy. Instagram makes everything look easy. TikTok makes everything look fun. YouTube makes everything look exciting. But becoming truly smart, it's none of those things. It's 3 a.m. and you're still debugging code that should work. It's reading the same paragraph 5 times because you don't get it. There's no audience cheering, no likes, no shares, no applause. Just you, alone, with a problem that's kicking your ass. Most people quit here. They want the results without the struggle. They want the breakthrough without the breakdown. They want the genius moment without the grinding hours. But here's what nobody tells you. That moment when it finally clicks, when the solution appears, when everything suddenly makes sense, that's not just a victory. That's your brain literally rewiring itself. That's intelligence being born. Every smart person has thousands of these moments, hidden from the world, celebrated by no one, but absolutely essential. The unsexy truth? Intelligence is built in the dark, one confusing problem at a time. Chapter 7. Why social media makes you dumber. Social media is intellectual junk food. It tastes good going down, but it rots your brain from the inside. On Instagram, everyone's a business expert. On TikTok, everyone's a life coach. On LinkedIn, everyone's a thought leader. 15-second solutions to 15-year problems. Life hacks that hack nothing. Success stories with zero context. And you eat it up. You feel informed. You feel inspired. You feel smart. But here's the trap. Social media gives you the illusion of learning without the work of understanding. The feeling of progress without actual progress. Real intelligence requires deep thinking. Social media rewards shallow thoughts. Real intelligence demands long-term focus. Social media fragments your attention. Real intelligence grows from struggle. Social media promises easy answers. Every scroll is a choice. Every swipe is a decision. You can consume content or you can create solutions. You can feel smart or you can become smart. But you can't do both. Chapter 8. The Hard Truth. You came here looking for a shortcut, a secret method, a hidden technique, some guru's magic system. I get it. Everyone's selling the one weird trick, the 10x method, the millionaire mindset, the genius formula. But here's what they won't tell you. Those people got smart the same way everyone else did. They struggled, they failed, they tried again, they got frustrated, they almost quit, they pushed through anyway. There's no app for intelligence, no course for common sense, no blueprint for breakthrough thinking, no subscription for success. The only path to real intelligence? Find something that actually matters to you, something that bugs you, something that needs fixing. Then solve it because it needs to be solved. That's the secret. Solve your real problems. Everything else is just noise.